This is swarm number 2 that John found on the cedar fence post. They've been in this box now about a week, and you can actually see the bees bringing in pollen now. Their pollen baskets are full. So we're back at John and Amy's house. They're our friends that have a bee tree in their front yard. We've already caught 2 swarms at their house in our swarm boxes. And John came out the other day and noticed a swarm in the cedar tree that's about 10 feet from the bee tree. And we had left another swarm trap here. We had actually put it in a tree a little bit further away in case they swarmed again. But since we had left a box here, John said, you know, what if I get that box and just put it near the swarm? Do you think they'll go in? So he set the box on this ladder really close to where the swarm was and took the lid off. And did he take a frame out? He may have taken a frame out probably so the bees could kind of get in there. And over the course of about an hour or so, they moved in. So this is the first swarm that we're installing in our house in Apex. This was the second swarm that we caught. We believe it was an after swarm from John and Amy's bee tree. It's kind of a small swarm. We weighed the box. They've been in it for 2 weeks, and it only weighs like 5.5 pounds. So we think it's pretty small. So what we're going to do is actually leave the colony in the swarm hive for a couple more weeks and give them a chance to build up a little bit bigger without such a big space to defend. But we did put it right on top of the hive that we're going to install the bees in. This is going to be the bee-free hive. Like I said, we put the swarm box right on top of where the entrance is going to be for the permanent hive. We put some branches around the opening so that the bees, when we release them, will do an orientation flight. They'll realize they're in a different place. They'll do a new orientation flight, and hopefully they'll be able to find their way back to their new home today. So we're going to actually release the bees this morning.
No, I'll provide you.
So this is actually swarm number 1 that we caught at John and Amy's house. John's got the bee tree in his front yard. So these girls swarmed about 3 weeks ago and went into our swarm box, and we've just moved it to our house in Apex, about 35 miles away from John and Amy's house. We're going to put the permanent hive right here, but we're going to leave them in the box for maybe another week or so. We put some branches around the box so that when they come out, they realize they're in someplace different and they do a new orientation flight. But this is going to be the location of the new hive, and this is going to be the Salem Church hive. I just named it. It's going to be the Salem Church hive. So we're going to release the bees this morning in this box. This is a much bigger swarm. We figured this one weighs right at 20 pounds. And unfortunately, the girls are going to have to get used to being close to traffic instead of a nice quiet little farm. think these girls are ready to come out. The first ones, they just kind of started walking out, but these girls started flying out.
All right, this is swarm number 3 we picked up from John's house. This is the one that was closest to his bee tree, and he just set the box next to the swarm up on a ladder, and the bees went in. We weighed this morning, and it's only around 3 pounds, so it's not very heavy. I'm not going to put it in a full-size hive box yet. I'm going to leave them over here in this swarm box for a little bit, see if they put on a little bit more weight. And to be honest, I don't have enough boxes right now. So when I get one of my 20 frame boxes back, I might put this one and another small one in one box. I can divide it, put 2 swarms in there. So I'm going to leave it right here for a little bit. I know this is not an optimal place for them, but I need to let them out this morning, and this is going to be pretty close to where they're going to be when we get another hive box ready for them. So let's see if they're ready to come out. I'm sure they are. Yep. Duct tape surely stuck good. There's a few of the girls out on ready to go. We put the little branches up there to get them to reorientate before they take off and start flying this morning. So last night when I picked it up, I didn't think there was any bees in there at all, but when I got it home and stuck my head to the box, I could hear the bees buzzing in there. So it's a small colony, but maybe they'll survive.